Hi, my teachers, principals, educators. In these series of episodes, I am trying to explain why there should be a gap between teaching and learning, teaching and empowering. In this, we are going to look at the various small little technologies, small little tools which will help you to bridge the gap between teaching and learning. In this, we are going to discuss that every child has a password. We talk about personal identification PIN. We have a PIN number. We have a password. NLP helps you to enter the mental domain of each child. You should know that every child is unique and every child has got a program. See, when you are asked to set a password, you want to go for a very unique password, no? You don't want to have your name as the password. Everybody can use the password. By communicating in a unique way to each child, you should be able to address the learning problems of each child. Isn't it amazing? Yes, you're going to see how your simple communication will make such a big difference. As I told you in the last few episodes, NLP is about programming the mind of a child. Programming the mind of anyone for that matter. There is a program. Your password should fit into that program. Your PIN should fit into that program. Then you can open your bank account, you can open your website, you can open your email. How do we do that? Before I go into that, I would like to give the difference between a teacher and a coach, especially when it comes to sports. You have a coach, don't you? Somebody teaches you how to play table tennis. The teacher teaches you the basic rules of the game. But a coach will go into the details. A coach will go into where is your weakness? How can you be strengthened? And so the role of a coach is very, very important. As teachers, all of you know that certain competitive exam needs for coaching like IIT, NEET, IAS. The purpose of that coaching is to give you that special attention. A teacher is also a coach. When a child is finding it difficult to solve a problem, the teacher becomes a coach. Like a cricketer is finding it difficult to play a particular ball. A chess player is finding it difficult to understand a particular move. So teachers as coaches. And what do you coach with? Language. Let's see what it is. And before I do that, I'm sure how many of you have seen this Hindi movie, Tare Zameen Par. Go and see that. It's about a student who was a puzzle for the entire school. He was a puzzle to the entire family. The parents started comparing the child with the elder brother. And the whole story is how a teacher arrived who made a big difference in the life of that child. Go watch that movie. To teach is to understand. To coach is to understand. To facilitate is to understand. Understand the person in front of you. I have an electronic gadget. I should understand how it works. I should understand how the whole thing is programmed. If I understand, then I can use it the way I want. I can produce excellent result. Similarly, in each and every child there is a program. You should know the password. You should know the personal identification number. Teaching is the highest form of understanding, Aristotle. Teaching is the highest form of understanding. I mentioned a couple of episodes before that if delivery of a subject is crucial, then you can pre-record all your classes. Switch on the gadget, the monitor, the smart board. Khanacademy.org, they have done an amazing job. From arithmetic to astrophysics, everything is available. No technology, I repeat, no technology, no gadget can replace a coach, can replace a teacher. There is another beautiful quotation. Words, so innocent, powerless as they are, as standing in a dictionary, how potent for good and evil they become in the hands of one who knows how to combine them. Look at the word, maybe speed. It's a word. Look at the word table. It's a word standing in the dictionary. Do you look at the word as a mere word, or it becomes a potential tool in the hands of a person? NLP is such. The whole NLP is about linguistically programming the mind and the brain of the child. There is a limitation in these online lectures. I'll be able to give you the basic fundamental things, but in a workshop which I conduct, you'll be able to really practice this and understand how these principles becomes relevant in a classroom situation. I'm going to give you how children are different, how they are unique. Let's say that I have my Almirah key. I lose it. Can I use anybody key and open it? It's not a trong. You know what a trong is? You have a trong and then you have a lock. And these days locks are specially designed. You go to a hotel, they give you a lock, or they give you a key which is unique. If you lose the key, they will program it again and give it to you. I'm going to explain a couple of ways in which children are different, how communication could be different. Each child is having a different program. For example, I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 different way of understanding and communicating with a child. One way is to understand that there are 3 ways the children understand a thing that is taught. V stands for visual. A stands for auditory. And K stands for kinesthetic. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So the first letters are taken to give this formula VAK. There are visual children who can understand a topic only by seeing. There are visual people in front of me. They see the board, they catch this picture, they see the color, they see my underlining couple of letters. They are visual. There are auditory participants, they listen to every syllable that I utter. They would have noticed that small little sound that came when I was writing on the board. There are others who are kinesthetic, which means only by doing they will understand. So, 3 different students, 3 different ways to communicate. It is said that predominantly people are visual. 80% of the population are visual. That's why television is more popular than radio. A television advertisement is more costlier and popular than a radio advertisement. A color advertisement is more effective than a black and white. I have used several colors when you look at it. So the smart board and the various gadgets that we use will be useful for a visual child. Auditory. The children will register the more and more you explain. You have to repeat in several ways. The child has to read several ways. The child has to go practice reading, and then it registers in the mind. An auditory child. A kinesthetic child needs to experiment in a lab. Let's say that I teach planetary motion. How do you combine the visual, auditory and kinesthetic? For visual children, you bring clippings and the child will look at the visual. For an auditory child, you have to repeat, this is this planet, that is that planet, this is this planet. And you ask them to repeat it, they repeat and it registers. How do you explain to a kinesthetic child? You call the children, couple of them, you put a child and say you are the sun, and you put 9 other children around and say you are this planet, that planet, you are Earth, you are Pluto, you are Mars, you are Jupiter. And you call another child and put him around near to the Earth and ask the child to move around the Earth, and both of them move around the sun. Create this. And the children understand, oh, is this the way? So, an effective teacher is one person who will combine visual, auditory and kinesthetic. How do you distinguish? Well, there are ways. I don't want to combine this as a pure NLP session. I am giving an example that there are 3 different ways children understand, and there could be 3 different ways you can communicate with the children. The second one is very interesting. There are self-internal children and there are others external children. Surprising, no? The self-internal children have a reference point inside them. For example, when you go and ask a child, how do you know you have done a good job? The self-internal child will say, I know when I do it, at the end of the work, I am satisfied and I am convinced. Now, your teacher said you are not doing well. The child will respond, no ma'am, I know I have done well. Maybe I will explain it to the teacher one of these days. Self-internal. Others, external children, the reference point is not inside them, it is outside them. Such children will go and check with others. They will do a job and go and ask the teacher, ma'am, have I done well? The teacher says, you know it best. The child will respond, no ma'am, tell me how I have done. See how these things are different. The reference point is very, very important. Others, external children, will look for a lot of praise. And they will say, I worked so hard, nobody is recognizing me. Yesterday, I was counseling a student. This child suffers from a feeling that the father is not praising the child. The mother is not acknowledging the good work. I discuss with the child, "Oh my dear, you are doing so well." The child says, "No sir, my father should appreciate me. He is everything for me." Others, external children, will take the criticism because they want praise, they want criticism. Self-internal children, if you advise them, they know how to process it. They may accept it, they may not accept it. If you criticize too much, they may not take it very seriously. Self, internal, others, external. So in a classroom, you should understand which child is self-internal, which child is others external. If you go and praise a self-internal child, the praise and criticism will not work out. That is okay for others external. If you pass a comment to others external child, the child will take it so seriously and look forward to such things. So, you have the VAK, you have the others external, others self-internal. Oh, I missed out one important line in between. Timeline. Past, present and future. A time has got the past, present and future. We know there is a past tense, there is a present tense, there is a future tense in English grammar. People also have the orientation to past, orientation to present and orientation to future. Some children live in the past. You do anything and everything, the child will link it to what happened in the past. There are children who live every moment. For them, the past does not matter. They want to enjoy every moment. And the future children look forward what's going to happen at this rate in the future. For example, I'll give an example so that you understand. A teacher comes and discusses in a classroom, let's all go for a picnic. How many of you are willing? The past student will immediately respond, "Ma'am, last year we went to Ooty." And others, past children, will combine and say, "Yeah, we remember we had a breakdown and all of us pushed the vehicle and all that." Immediately the reference point is past. Another set of students will ask, present students will ask, "Tell me madam, when are we going? How much will it cost?" Yes, we should have it. We are all looking forward to. Excitement will flow. The future children will carry up and ask, "Madam, next year also will you take us? Will it be a yearly event?" Same question, same situation, a picnic. See how these children have different responses. Now, a past child will never forget something which happened in the past. For example, a child did badly in a paper, maths or physics or chemistry. That will always haunt the child. Every time the child takes a question, "Oh, last time I made a mistake. I think I should be very, very careful this time. Last year this teacher punished me. She is becoming my class teacher once again and I am not going to have a good time." When it comes to goal setting, you should have the future orientation. 5 years from now, what is that I should be? So there are past students or students who have a past reference point. There are students who have a present referential point, and there are students who are having a future referential point. So in this episode we have seen three. There are visual students, auditory students, kinesthetic students. We have seen the timeline. There are past orientation, present orientation and future orientation, and there are students who are self-internal or others external. Till we meet next week, think about it and find out what is your orientation. See you next week.